We're going to be talking about how to make a fantastic first date impression. And Mark's going to be sharing some tips with us on this, which I think is going to be a fun conversation. So for those of you that are out dating or just even in a relationship where you do something with a partner or a husband, this is going to be fun. So Mark, let's dive in. Tell us why you chose this particular topic.
Why I chose this particular topic? Well, I think when it comes to feminine energy, we men, when a woman's really in her feminine energy, it's so enamoring, it's so beautiful, it's so alluring. And really a first date is kind of our first proper experience of your feminine energy. It's our first experience of what makes you alluring, what makes you attractive. It's just magnetic, right? And this coming out of the pandemic, getting yourself out there again. I mean, I started with dating coaching. It's my sort of bread and butter. It's just so much fun. And I think it cops heat, honestly, from a lot of women. A lot of women see dating as like, oh, I just got to get through this speed bump so I can get to a relationship. And they don't see the fun. They don't see the potential. There's just so much growth that's available in it. So I really want you to be able to have fun in dating, to make it enjoyable, to be able to shine, to look forward to it. Because dating's great. And I tell you what, you can have a great relationship, but there's still elements of it that you'll miss when it's not around. So make the most of it. And I wanted to choose this topic because getting your feminine fire burning with dating is just such a great thing that I don't think enough women do.
Yeah. Before we dive into your tips for making a fantastic first date impression, Mark, I want to see if you'll spend just a little bit of time, because you're talking about feminine energy on a date. What does that look like, or what is that for you from a male perspective when a woman is showing up that way? I just want to make this tangible for women because, there's a lot of talk out there. Feminine energy is kind of a buzz term in our industry right now anyway. And I think sometimes it's kind of vague for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think there's misconceptions as well to it. I think people can think it's like passive or nice or weak or indecisive. I think there's a lot of sort of negative stereotypes around it. So it's not any of those things. Excuse me. Slightly under the weather today. So if I'm slightly coffee or gross, you'll have to forgive me. So feminine energy, when I think of feminine energy, I think of a few different facets of feminine energy. The first is pride and very standing up tall. Maybe not even pride's the right word, but like strong and yet subtle, kind of a queen. And a queen is the best representation. A queen, she stands up strong, she's proud, is sort of not afraid to look you in the eyes. You respect her. There's one facet of feminine energy in that. A second facet is that of play, of fun, of just enjoyment, of wonder at the world, curiosity. There's a third facet of vulnerability, softness. I feel very emotionally safe being around my partner when she's really in her feminine energy, because I feel like I can show up with any emotion, whether it's sadness or anger or fear, and I'm not going to get like beat over the head for it. She's not going to hit me with a saucepan. She's going to actually just receive it and hold space for it, support me in it. Then obviously there's the very intuitive nature of the feminine. That's another facet, just really being able to connect to the body. And I think the other one is the sensual and sexual movement that you see, that when a woman's really in her feminine energy, you can tell that, again, it's connection to her body, but instead of intuition, it's like connection to pleasure, connection to senses, whether it's touch, taste, hear, see, smell, feel, that real connection to her body and her senses. So it's all of those. It's the strength, it's the vulnerability, it's the play, it's the connection to senses, connection to intuition, the flow and movement, as opposed to, just to put it in contrast to masculine energy. Masculine energy also has strength, but it's more of a rigid strength. It can be very logical, which is needed sometimes. It can be very future focused. Feminine energy tends to be very present and aware and vibrant. That, for me, is at least what I think of when I think of feminine energy.
Yeah, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I think it makes it more tangible. And I do think there are misconceptions out there. It doesn't mean, we have to wear a pink taffeta dress or something like that. There's connotations that people form in their minds, even with the word feminine. And so I really like that definition. So how does this translate then? You said when a woman's in her feminine energy on a date, that's really compelling and alluring. And tell us about that, and tell us how you can make the audience, as they're listening, how they can make a fantastic first date impression.
Yeah, so I think I always like to relate this to animals as well, actually, because you notice that when an animal is very relaxed, that's the time when it's playful. That's the time when it actually is able to be fully playful. You don't see stressed animals being playful. And so it also comes into confidence, because when we're relaxed, when we're confident, we are relaxed typically. So one of the feminine energy facets that stands out in particular in dating is that one around fun and playfulness. Fun, playfulness, presence. And what it does, if you can show up like that on a date, it shows a level of confidence that other women may not be able to match you on, right? And they may not be able to just be as alluring as you. You don't necessarily want to show up on a first date being incredibly sexual or incredibly vulnerable, right? But the playful side, the fun side, that's something you can definitely bring to a first date. So some of the ways we do this, I think the first big thing is even before the date, like the setup before the date. I'm always having my clients set an intent. And the intent is typically something like, my favorite one is just, how can I have fun? Or how can I make this fun? I'm always thinking, like, dating's supposed to be fun. You're meeting another human being, you're getting to know another human being. Maybe it's a mathematician, maybe it's a guitarist, maybe it's a civil engineer, maybe it's a poker player. Right, I've spent too much time in Vegas, clearly. You're getting to know a human being who probably does something and has a story that you may never hear again. And really looking at, how can I make this fun? How can I be curious about this? Bring in that level of curiosity before you even go on the date is really, really huge. You want to make sure that, like, you're bringing the right mentality and the right intent to your dating. Does that make sense, Michelle?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So a mindset of lightness and fun, and how can I make this fun? And again, just to make this tangible for people, I don't think we're necessarily talking about being goofy. You don't have to be overly goofy or overly silly. But if you're bringing an energy or an attitude of fun, instead of like this heavy feeling energy that's like, is he like me? Do I like him? Is this going to go anywhere? Am I wasting my time? Some of those audios that go through our minds.
Yeah, it's about being present. Presence equals confidence. Worry about the future, unfortunately, projects lack of confidence, right? So if you go in with no expectations and your only intent is, how can I have fun? The guy's going to be like, how is she so confident? If you're going in with, oh my God, I got to get him to like me. Oh my God, where is this going? The guy's going to feel that too. And unfortunately, it's going to project a lack of confidence. So you really want to, like, put your expectations aside. I remember in dating, I would always say, all right, this is my time off. I'm not working now. I get to hang out with another human being. I don't know where this is going to go, but for the next few hours, I just get to be curious, and I don't know what's going to happen. You really try to bring that, like, that childhood, unexpected, I don't know what's going to happen, curiosity, no expectations on the result to dating, because that mindset shift alone will make a big difference.